The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly, a dark canvas punctuated by distant starlight. Jaehua Park lay motionless, his body crushed beneath the wreckage of a destroyed battlecruiser. Blood seeped through his torn combat suit, creating a crimson map of his injuries. The battlefield around him was silent, except for the occasional spark of damaged electronic systems and the distant hum of cooling metal. His breathing was shallow, each breath a struggle against the crushing weight of his broken equipment. The last moments of the battle replayed in his mind. Plasma weapons cutting through ships, explosions consuming entire squadrons, and the desperate screams of dying soldiers. Jaehua had been a lead tactical officer, responsible for coordinating human defense strategies against an overwhelming alien invasion. The recovery team approached slowly, their biomechanical scanners sweeping across the debris field. They were not human, but a species known as the Celestial Observers, tall, slender beings with translucent skin that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. Their technology was generations ahead of human understanding, capable of detecting the faintest signs of life. Arya Kim stood at the front of the recovery team, her eyes different from the others. Where they saw a battlefield, she perceived threads of potential futures. Something about this human warrior caught her attention. Most recovery missions involved collecting data and removing potential threats, but today felt different. The scanner in her hand flickered, showing unusual readings from Jaehua's body. His genetic structure demonstrated remarkable resilience. Most beings would have died instantly from injuries that seemed to barely slow him down. His body was a map of survival, each scar telling a story of previous encounters that should have killed him. "Retrieve the human," Arya commanded, her voice calm and precise. The recovery team looked surprised. Typically, wounded enemies were left to die or processed for biological data, but Arya's word was law among the Celestial Observers. Her prophetic abilities had guided their civilization for centuries. Specialized drone units carefully lifted Jaehua's broken body. Medical stabilization fields surrounded him, preventing further deterioration. His eyes remained closed, but somewhere deep inside, a spark of consciousness remained. He was not ready to die. The transport ship was unlike anything human technology had achieved. Its interior shifted and adapted, creating a perfect environment for medical restoration. Biological reconstructive chambers hummed with energy, preparing to work their mysterious healing process. Arya watched closely as they placed Jaehua into the primary restoration chamber. Her fellow team members whispered among themselves, questioning her decision. Saving an enemy soldier was against their cultural practices, but Arya saw something more, a potential that transcended current conflicts. The chamber's systems began analyzing Jaehua's physical condition. Multiple fractures, severe, internal bleeding damaged neural networks, injuries that would have killed a normal human instantly. Yet his body fought back, showing an incredible will to survive. Hours passed. The ship moved silently through space, leaving behind the battlefield that had consumed countless lives. Jaehua remained suspended in the healing chamber, his body slowly knitting itself back together. Streams of nanobots worked tirelessly, repairing damaged cells and reconstructing lost tissue. Arya remained vigilant. Her prophetic visions were rarely wrong, and something about this human warrior suggested he would play a crucial role in events yet to unfold. The cosmic threads of destiny seemed to converge around his broken body. As the restoration process continued, small details about Jaehua became clear. His military records showed a distinguished career, multiple commendations for strategic thinking and leadership. He was not just a random soldier, but someone who had consistently defied expected outcomes. The chamber's diagnostic systems began to stabilize. Jaehua's vital signs, once barely detectable, started to strengthen. His body was not just surviving, it was adapting, learning, preparing for whatever challenge awaited him. Arya knew that when he awakened, everything would change. The war, the conflict between humans and the Celestial Observers, the very fabric of their existing reality, all of it hung in delicate balance, and it all centered on this one wounded human warrior. The healing chamber glowed with a soft blue light, its intricate systems working to rebuild Jaehwa's broken body. Arya Kim watched carefully, her fingers occasionally touching the transparent surface that separated her from the wounded warrior. Strange energy patterns danced around him, molecular reconstructors weaving through damaged tissues like invisible threads. Jaehwa's body twitched occasionally, dreams of battle mixed with fragments of memories, explosions, the sound of plasma weapons, the desperate faces of fallen comrades. His mind fought its own battle, while his physical form slowly renewed itself. The medical team became increasingly puzzled. Jaehwa's cellular regeneration defied their standard medical protocols. Where most beings would require complete replacement of damaged systems, his body seemed to be rewriting its own genetic code. Each damaged cell became a blueprint for something stronger, more resilient. Arya understood something the others did not. This was more than simple healing. Something extraordinary was happening. Days passed. The ship moved silently through the vast emptiness of space, far from the battlefield where Jaehwa had been found. Alien technicians monitored his progress, whispering among themselves about the strange human whose body refused to surrender. On the 7th day, unexpected changes began to manifest. Jaehwa's neural network started forming new connections at an impossible rate. His brain activity showed patterns that confused the medical scanners. It was as if his entire biological system was rewriting its own survival code. The first sign of consciousness came unexpectedly. His fingers moved slightly, then his right hand clenched into a fist. The medical team tensed, watching every microscopic change. Arya leaned closer, her breath catching in her throat. "Prepare communication protocols," she instructed the medical team. "He will wake soon." Her prediction came true moments later. Jaehwa's eyes opened, not slowly, but with a sudden clarity that startled everyone in the room. They were different from before, darker, more intense, with a depth that suggested he had seen something beyond ordinary human experience. His first words were not what anyone expected. "Where are my people?" The voice was rough, damaged, but determined. Arya stepped forward. "You are safe. Your physical form is being restored." Jaehwa tried to move, but found himself restricted by medical restraints. His military training kicked in immediately. He assessed the environment, strange technology, unfamiliar sounds, an alien presence that felt both threatening and curious. "I'm not your prisoner," he stated, more a fact than a question. The medical team looked to Arya, who remained calm. She understood this was a critical moment. One wrong move could destroy everything her prophetic vision had revealed. "You are being healed," she explained simply. "Your body was critically damaged in the recent conflict." Jaehwa's eyes narrowed. He recognized the being before him as something different, not entirely human, not completely alien. Her presence suggested something beyond simple medical intervention. The healing chamber began to release its restraints. Specialized nutrients flooded Jaehwa's system, completing the final stages of reconstruction. His muscles, once torn and broken, now moved with a fluid precision that surprised even the most experienced medical technicians. "What do you want from me?" he asked Arya directly. She smiled, a gesture that seemed both human and completely alien. "Survival," she responded, "and perhaps something more." As the chamber's doors opened, Jaehwa took his first steps. His body, once broken, now moved with a grace and strength that suggested something transformative had occurred during his healing. The ship around them hummed with anticipation. Somewhere in the vast complexity of cosmic design, a new chapter was beginning. And Jaehwa Park stood at its unexpected center. The conference chamber buzzed with tension. Alien leaders from different sectors studied Jaehwa with a mixture of suspicion and curiosity. Arya stood beside him, her presence both protective and challenging. Holographic displays flickered, showing complex star maps and genetic analysis of Jaehwa's unique biological structure. Something extraordinary existed within his DNA, a combination of adaptive capabilities that defied standard scientific understanding. "He is more than a soldier," Arya explained to the council. "He represents a potential solution to our greatest threat." The threat she spoke of was not simple. For generations, the celestial observers had detected a growing darkness at the edge of known space, a cosmic phenomenon that consumed entire star systems, leaving nothing but empty void. Traditional weapons and technologies had failed against this unknown force. HFY listened carefully. His military training helped him process the complex information quickly. He understood that he was no longer just a human warrior, but something more, a potential key to survival. Research data displayed his unique genetic markers. Where normal human DNA showed limitations, HFY's genetic code demonstrated remarkable flexibility. Each cell seemed capable of rapid adaptation, learning, and transformation. It was as if his body was constantly preparing for unknown challenges. The oldest council member, a being with skin like translucent crystal, approached HFY. His touch revealed memories, fragments of battles, strategic decisions, moments of human resilience that surprised even the most advanced alien civilization. "Your species fights differently," the elder observed, "not with superior technology but with unexpected adaptability." HFY remained silent. He knew demonstration was more powerful than words. His experiences had taught him that survival often depended on understanding your environment faster than your enemy. Arya began explaining the prophecy. Generations ago, her people had received fragmented visions of a warrior from another world, someone who would help them combat a cosmic threat that existed beyond traditional understanding. HFY matched every single prediction. Training began immediately. The aliens introduced him to technologies far beyond human comprehension. Neural interfaces that could connect directly with advanced computing systems. Quantum communication networks that allowed instant information transfer across vast distances. Most humans would have been overwhelmed, but HFY's mind worked differently. Each new piece of information became a strategic tool. His brain processed complex data with a speed that surprised even the most advanced alien researchers. The cosmic threat continued to grow. Distant star systems began disappearing, consumed by an unknown force that left no traces. Traditional defense mechanisms seemed useless against something that could erase entire civilizations in moments. HFY's training revealed something unexpected. His human perspective allowed him to see solutions that the technologically advanced aliens missed. Where they saw complex mathematical problems, he saw simple strategic approaches. "We're thinking too complicated," he told Arya during one training session. "Sometimes the simplest solution is the most effective." His words carried weight. The alien researchers began to understand that human intuition was not a weakness, but a unique strength. HFY represented something more than a potential weapon. He was a bridge between different ways of thinking. Genetic modifications enhanced his natural abilities. Neural pathways expanded, allowing him to process information at speeds previously thought impossible. But unlike machine-based enhancements, HFY maintained his human core, emotional intelligence, creative problem-solving, and an unpredictable nature. The council watched carefully. Some saw hope, others saw potential danger. A human warrior, with abilities that could challenge their most advanced technologies, was both exciting and terrifying. Arya remained confident. Her prophetic abilities had never been wrong. HFY was more than a soldier. He was a key to humanity's and potentially the entire galaxy's survival. As training continued, one thing became clear. The approaching cosmic threat would require something beyond traditional understanding, and HFY might be the unexpected solution nobody saw coming. The universe held its breath, waiting. Political tensions erupted like silent explosions within the Celestial Observer's central command. HFY stood at the center of a growing storm, his presence challenging everything the ancient civilization believed. Senior council members gathered, their translucent bodies reflecting multiple holographic displays. Arguments filled the chamber, some demanding HFY's immediate elimination, others curious about his potential. Arya defended him with a passion that surprised even her closest allies. "He is not just a weapon," she declared. "He is our best chance of survival." The first signs of the prophesied cosmic threat began to manifest. Strange energy signatures appeared at the galaxy's edges, consuming entire star systems in moments. Traditional defense systems failed repeatedly. Human military records showed Jaehua had experience with unconventional warfare that might prove crucial. During a critical strategic meeting, Jaehua demonstrated why he was different. Using a combination of human tactical thinking and newly acquired alien technologies, he proposed a defense strategy that completely restructured their existing plans. His approach was simple yet brilliant, using the threat's own energy patterns against itself. Military commanders watched in shock. Jaehua's mind worked differently. Where they saw complex mathematical equations, he saw simple strategic connections. His brain processed information like a living computer, adapting faster than any artificial system. Resistance came from multiple directions. Some alien factions saw him as a potential threat. Others viewed him as a potential savior. Arya worked tirelessly to protect him, knowing that his survival was critical to their civilization's future. Training intensified. Jaehua learned to control advanced technologies with mere thoughts. Neural interfaces allowed him to communicate across vast distances, process complex data streams, and predict potential outcomes with remarkable accuracy. But he never lost his human core, the emotional intelligence that made him truly unique. The cosmic threat grew closer. Star maps showed entire sectors disappearing, consumed by an unknown force that defied conventional understanding. Time was running out. Jaehua became the center of a desperate plan to save not just one civilization, but potentially all intelligent life. Political intrigue surrounded him constantly. Some council members plotted to eliminate him, seeing him as a potential disruption to their established order. Others recognized his unique capabilities as their only hope. During a critical moment, Jaehua uncovered a hidden truth. The cosmic threat was not just a random phenomenon. It was a sentient force that consumed civilizations to maintain its own existence. His human perspective allowed him to see connections that the more technologically advanced aliens had missed. "We're looking at this wrong," he told Arya during a late-night strategy session. "This isn't just a threat, it's a living system with its own survival mechanisms." His insight changed everything. The defense strategy shifted from pure destruction to understanding and potential communication. Jaehua's ability to think beyond traditional military approaches became their greatest weapon. The final revelation came unexpectedly. During an advanced training simulation, Jaehua discovered that his genetic structure contained something more than just adaptive capabilities. He was a living bridge between human potential and cosmic understanding. Alien researchers worked frantically, analyzing every aspect of his unique biological structure. Each test revealed new capabilities, neural networks that could process information at speeds previously thought impossible, cellular structures that could adapt to extreme environments. In moments, political tensions reached a breaking point. A faction of the Celestial Observer Council attempted to remove Jaehua, seeing him as a potential threat to their established order. Arya stood firm, using her prophetic abilities to counter their arguments. The universe seemed to hold its breath. Jaehua Park, once a simple human warrior, now stood as a potential savior of entire civilizations. His journey from a wounded soldier to a cosmic strategic asset was almost complete. As the cosmic threat drew closer, one question remained. Would humanity's unexpected champion be enough to save them all? The final battle was approaching, and Jaehua would be at its center. The final moments approached with a silence more terrifying than any battle sound. Jaehua stood at the center of a massive command ship, his body now a perfect fusion of human resilience and alien technology. Around him, ships from multiple civilizations prepared for what might be the last defensive stand in galactic history. The cosmic threat approached, a massive energy formation that consumed entire star systems like a hungry predator. Traditional weapons looked like children's toys against its immense power. But Jaehua saw something different. Where others saw destruction, he perceived a complex living system with potential weaknesses. "We're not fighting," he told the assembled alien commanders. "We're communicating." His words seemed crazy, But those who had watched his journey understood that Jaehua's perspective was unique. His human brain, enhanced by alien technologies, processed information in ways no machine could replicate. Arya stood beside him, her prophetic abilities sensing the delicate threads of potential futures. Everything they had prepared for came, down to these next few moments. The cosmic threat was more than a simple destructive force. It was a living, adaptive entity seeking survival. The first wave of attacks began. Massive energy weapons fired from thousands of ships, creating a light show that could be seen across multiple star systems. But the cosmic threat simply absorbed the energy, growing stronger with each attack. Jaehua's strategy was unlike anything military commanders had ever seen. Instead of fighting, he began transmitting complex neural patterns, a language of pure information that spoke directly to the threat's fundamental nature. His enhanced brain acted like a living translation device, breaking down communication, barriers that had existed for millennia. Something unexpected happened. The cosmic threat began to slow. Its consumption pattern changed. Where it had been mindlessly destroying, it now seemed to be listening. Alien scientists watched in total amazement. Jaehua was doing what no weapon, no technology had ever achieved, establishing communication with a force that seemed beyond understanding. His body began to change. Neural networks expanded beyond human limitations. His consciousness spread across multiple dimensions, connecting with the cosmic threat in ways no one could fully comprehend. He was no longer just Jaehua Park. He had become something more. The battle transformed. What had started as a potential total destruction became a complex dialogue. Jaehua discovered that the cosmic threat was not evil. It was simply a living, system-seeking survival, much like any other civilization. Hours passed, or perhaps moments. Time became a flexible concept as Jaehua negotiated with the cosmic entity. His human emotions, combined with his enhanced cognitive abilities, created a bridge of understanding that transcended traditional communication. Arya watched, her prophetic abilities confirming what was happening. This was the moment her people had anticipated for generations. A human warrior would become the key to galactic survival. The cosmic threat began to change. Its destructive energy transformed, redirected into something constructive. Star systems that had been consumed began to show signs of reconstruction. It was as if Jaehua had taught this massive entity a new way of existing. When the process completed, something remarkable remained. The threat was gone. But Jaehua was different. Parts of his consciousness remained spread across the cosmic network, a living bridge between human potential and universal understanding. Alien commanders looked at each other in disbelief. What had seemed like certain destruction had become an unprecedented moment of communication and transformation. Arya approached what remained of Jaehua. His physical form was changed, part human, part something entirely new. "We did it," she whispered. The universe had a new guardian, not a weapon, not a destroyer, but a bridge of understanding. Humanity had transcended its limitations, and Jaehua Park was its unexpected champion. The stars watched silently, bearing witness to a transformation beyond imagination.